My story.
Who we talking to?
I think they talked to Clay.
What's the story you're telling?
Steve Wooster's story. You could say that Roy the giant killer, Roy the audacious one, Roy the never say never guy set the tone for how we were going to build our agency into what it is today.
You don't get notes.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
This is it. I'll never get through this. Not with these guys.
New business, account service, internal leadership. He wore many hats.
He did, but he loved beating other agencies and getting new business.
Why does this sound like a eulogy?
Colleen Barrett calls Roy Spence and said, Herb Kelleher would like to meet you. Can you drive down to San Antonio? He did. Herb pulled out this mayonnaise jar full of tequila that was smuggled in by one of his pilots from Mexico. They proceeded to drink the night away, including the worm at the bottom of the jar. Within a week, Roy had the first project with Southwest Airlines, and that was probably the biggest blessing that ever happened to GSD&M because they pretty much put us on the map.
If, on the other hand, Southwest is your kind of airline, we'll still give you this bag for all the money you'll save flying with us.
You are now free to move about the country.
When you work with giants, Herb Kelleher, Sam Walton, Ed Whitaker, Norm Brinker, Charles Schwab, Jim Collins, Tim Fincham in the PGA Tour, Bill Clinton, George Bush, George W., all these people taught us a great deal and shaped our agency.
Roy woke up every day trying to figure out how am I going to make a difference within the walls of the agency, the city of Austin, and then how do you make a difference that's going to have a positive impact on people's lives.
If you ask Roy, to him at 9/11, his greatest moment was the I Am an American PSA.
I am
An American.
I am an American.
I'm an American.
I'm an American.
I am American.
I am an American.
I am an American.
Very early on, Roy and I were going down to San Antonio to make a big presentation. The creative team presented us with their campaign, and it was just simply not presentable. Roy said, I want you to go find a 3-ring binder, and I want you to fill it full of blank pages. So we walk into the boardroom, and Roy stands up and he said, we have a good campaign for you, but we're not going to present it today because you deserve great work. So rather than show you the campaign that Tim has here in this 3-ring folder, we would rather come back to you when it's great. The chairman of the board slowly rose up, slammed his fist on the table and said, that's why we hired these guys. Roy turned to me and he said, this is something I don't want you to ever forget because if we can sell nothing, we can sell anything.
That's in his DNA. He can sell just about anything.
Beauty shot.
Well, we have a treat for you tonight. I now have the distinct privilege and honor of introducing our next presenter. Please join me in welcoming the founder of the Clinton Foundation and the 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank John for making me feel welcome, and I want to congratulate all the other winners. I've been backstage watching these films, and I thought, where were all of you when I needed you? All those campaigns that I ran in, every one, there was this amazing attempt to delegitimize me, and if I just had 2 funny ads, I might have gotten 80% of the vote both times. Not only in the White House, but for 4. I don't know if I can do Roy Spence justice tonight, not because I'm not in the advertising business, but because I love him so much. We met almost 44 years ago. I was 25, he was 23. We're almost the same age. He looks 20 years younger than me. I hate him for that. I don't know why I'm here. But through all of our lives, we just kept trying to do better, and we had to, because I went down there to head up the McGovern campaign in Texas, which is, ought to be in Texas. It made the Alamo look like a good shot. And so we hired this young ad agency, and we got beat 67-33. An inauspicious start for both of us. But we learned a lot about how people really felt and how they thought. And I made some lifetime friends. I have not been through any great effort in my life since then, nor has Hillary, without Roy and Judy helping us. I never appreciated his creative genius more than when I first visited Idea City and I saw how happy people were at work and how they related to each other and the energy they had. And even more important, I have been in his family's haunted house that they created Halloween every year. It is the single best private haunted house on planet Earth. I have been threatened. I have been intimidated. I've had a few people try to kill me. I have never been as scared as I was in Roy Spence's haunted house. And I figured, the guy can't miss. Probably the greatest marketer who was never in advertising in our lifetime is Rick Warren with his book, A Purpose-Driven Life. I have never known a person whose life was more driven by purpose and whose advertising strategy was first to uncover the real, true purpose of every client he ever had, and then to try to figure out how to bring it to life. Since I left the White House and began work with my foundation, we've done a lot of things together. After the terrible Katrina tragedy, after the earthquake in Haiti, in many other ways. His daughter Courtney has helped us to advertise the stories of the real people around the world we try to help through our efforts today, who are largely invisible to people in their own country, much less half a world away. This work you do can be incredibly empowering and can legitimize the whole integrity of human endeavor. That's what I think he's done. The reason he looks younger than everybody his age is he is. He is. He wakes up every day just like he was 18 years old, going to go out and conquer the world again in a way that helps somebody else, not him. I've never quite known anyone like him. I do love his family, and I love his work family. But most important is, I love the way he looks into the soul of every person and tries to find something good, and then to help them make it better. That, after all, is the kind of creativity we'd all like to bring to whatever we're doing in every human endeavor. So I want you to join me in congratulating my friend Roy Spence on this award. Thank you.
A lot of people always tell me they really don't want to follow me when I speak. They have no idea. Real quick story before we move on. The president came, stayed at our house, Mary at our house many times, and Mary's the haunted house genius. I remember the last time he was there, and he asked to go through Mary's haunted house. It was about 2 in the morning. And about halfway through, he looks at her and he says, "I'll never think of you the same ever again." Thank you, Mr. President, my long, lifetime friend, and one of the great American presidents. And one of the great American leaders here and around the world. We thank you. I also want to thank the members of the American Advertising Federation and all my honored guests and colleagues that are getting inducted. I'm not worthy, but I'll take it. A shout out to my family, my wife, Mary Corey Spence, of 38 years, and Courtney Corey Spence, my daughter, and I want to say Ashley Clower Spence, but they won't let me say that. So it's Ashley Spence Clower. And her husband Jason, and my son Shay Spence, and all the friends and family, James and Courtney and Tim and Herb, and all these people who've come here. Thank you so much. A big, huge shout out to the GSD&M tribe here and around the country. And also a shout out to Wendy Clark and all the amazing individuals who had the courage and yes, now the wisdom to nominate me. But I thank you. And while I get to be up here myself, this is a different story of 45 years. My partners, Steve Gersich and Judy Trabulsi and Tim McClure, we met as kids at the University of Texas, whatever. And someday I'll tell you the bets that the president and I have made when Arkansas and Texas played, and I haven't won one yet. I had to wear a hog hat for 2 weeks. But anyway, we were kids at the University of Texas in 1970. Our first company was called Media 70. It was great until January the 1st, 1971. We did multimedia shows. Those of you who don't know what that is, it was the age of Marshall McLuhan. And we did these crazy-ass multimedia shows, and thousands of students at the University of Texas would line up, and they'd pay us 50 cents or a brownie. You know, we can talk about these things now. I mean, this is America. This is America. And at that moment, not because of the brownies, but at that moment, we decided we wanted to go into advertising. And I said, "Great, what is that?" Remember, Steve? I said, "Well, that's great. What is it?" So anyway, I think we graduated, and I had a brand new tie-dye T-shirt. My ponytail was looking like fabulous. And we all went down to City National Bank, local bank in town, and I sat down across from the loan officer. He wasn't at the desk, and he comes up and Mr. President taps me on the back and said, "I'm sorry, son, do you have an appointment?" And I went, "No, but you're not like busy." So he said, "What do you need?" And I said, "Well, my partners and I need to borrow $5,000 to start the business." And he said, "What's your business plan?" I said, "Excuse me, what?" He said, what's your business plan?" And I was like frozen. And I said, "Well, we want to like stay together." It's true. We want to like stay together. We want to like stay in Austin. And we want to like, make a difference and get rich. And he loaned us the money. I can sell anything, swear to God. He loaned us the money and we paid it back a couple of weeks ago. Well, it takes time. These financial matters take time, as you know. So Steve and Tim and Judy and I were at a reception about 15 years ago in Austin. And a man came up to me and he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, "Do you see that older man over there with the cane? Do you know who he is?" And we all said, "Yeah, his name is Robert Sneed. And he's a lawyer here in Austin. And Robert Sneed has been a mentor of us for a lot of years." And he said, "Do you remember the $5,000 that you borrowed 30 years ago?" And I said, "Like it was yesterday." And he said, "Do you know that that man co-signed that note and never told y'all? Because he wanted you to believe you got it on your own." I tell this particular story out of so many I could because Robert Sneed, 20 to 30 years older than us, believed in us and our dream even before we did ourselves. And he, in a real sense, wanted to help our dream and bring that dream to life. I look around this room, and this is what we do when we're at our best, whether it's Southwest Airlines or the PGA Tour or the American Institute of Architects or our President of the United States. What we do when we're at our best, we believe in other people's dreams. And we use our marketing and our advertising and our messaging to help bring those dreams to life. And that's not a bad way to spend your life at work. By the way, you know that business plan that we had? To stay together, stay in Austin, make a difference? 45 years later, we are still together. And we're still in Austin. And we're still trying to make a little bit of difference. So I thank you. I'm so honored. And I will close as I always do every speech. Raise your glasses. So drink up, my friends, for tomorrow we ride at dawn.